Hey, what's up, traders? Wednesday, February 8th, 9 o'clock a.m. Here are your morning ideas. Hey, what's up, traders? So we have a market that I'll tell you, was a really, really difficult trade yesterday. Anytime you see, and you can see that I'm short one right now from the overnight session, but anytime you see this kind of behavior where you get the move directly vertical and then just drops like this and then directly vertical. I mean, this is as whippy of a market as you can get, and it's very, very difficult. I see, usually from the data we see from our traders these days are really tough on our traders. They're really tough on any trader. I think there's no momentum plays. It's just very whippy. Very, very difficult trade. So if you got beat up yesterday, I wouldn't take fortunately for me, I didn't trade yesterday, but if you got beat up yesterday, I think that it's just one of those days you got to chalk up as pretty difficult and you move on. It's more the exception than the norm, right? So the reason that I got short overnight and I got short a little while ago was just because it seemed like it was so heavy on the bottom. That we look like we have more room to move lower until the profile. And remember, we don't typically see profiles with fat edges like this. You usually get a little bit more of the fat belly instead of the fat edges. So you would likely see it start to smooth out a bit. And until it does, I'm looking to hold on to this short. And again, I'm just short one ES contract. It's only up $400. It's not a big deal, but just explaining to you why I have the trade on that I do. When you look at the big picture, which we keep looking at, that 4180 that's really been on my 4175 now, that's been on my charts, continues to loom large here because it's the market keeps banging into it and trying to break through. And remember, the more that we bang into it, people tend to think that means that there's strong resistance there. Well, there is strong resistance there, but that doesn't mean that it won't break. The more we bang into it, the more trading that happens here, the more likely we are to break through. So I think the 4180 eventually falls. And we tried yesterday, we just couldn't do it. But we talked about also the other day, I think it was on Monday, trying to fill in a bit more in the area. We didn't do a great job of doing that. And we're coming to the high now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us pull back again, fill in a bit more in this hole before we move higher. But just know that I wouldn't blindly just be taking shorts at 4175, 4180, 4170 just because you think that this level can't break. I mean, it certainly could and will. These levels are made to be broken, right? And the more, contrary to popular belief, the more we bang into an area, the more likely it is to break. And when we look at the 4 hour, we get the same kind of thing. You can see that I put this on there on Monday, I believe, it's an area of 4180 to 4200. Is where we've been kind of banging into. I don't like to do exact numbers, and that's why when I say 4170, 4180, it really goes, probably you could say 4175 all the way to 4200. It's just the area where it encompasses a lot of these pivots, right? And again, that's the area that really needs to break. We need to see some kind of a separation from 4200 and then a pullback before you'd really want to be trading that breakout. I just hate to see traders in an index like this trying to buy the breakout, because what happens a lot of times is you buy the breakout, it moves, you get excited, it pulls back, and then you don't know what to do. It comes back to even, and then that's actually, you could be getting in at the same point on the pullback instead of trying to chase the thing higher, okay? And again, that's just my opinion, that after seeing so many breakouts in indices fail, they're just mean reversion instruments, and you just don't see that work too often. And here's a good example right here, and sorry to be long-winded about this. When you have an area like this, it's back and forth, we break out instead of, we could do an hour-long video on this alone. Instead of trying to do this, instead of trying to buy it here, the more likely thing that what happens is you get this area, right? Here's the value area. You get these big fat areas. What happens more likely, instead of trying to buy it on the breakout, what happens is it moves and then it pulls back, and you can get it at the same spot. Like this one probably didn't pull back far enough for you to get it. However, most people will buy it here. Once it starts to take off, then the market goes up, it comes back, and then all of a sudden their trade is underwater and they don't really know what to do now because they should still be long. However, they start to get cold feet because now the trade's underwater because they got into, they got in too early. They looked for confirmation on the breakout. I just don't like to see people trade like that in an index that usually will pull back and give you the same opportunity from the same price. And again, you might have been looking for it down here, but it'll give you this, you can almost get in usually at the same price on the pullback instead of having to chase the thing higher. Okay. And again, this is just kind of getting off topic here with, buying breakouts. I just don't like to see it. And, in the indices, especially, ES that moves pretty slow back and forth. It's another thing if you're looking at something like the Russell that tends to trend a bit more and whip from side to side. Okay. So that's it for today. Guys, remember that we're coming to a close of the Super Bowl 40 for 40. Please, I'm going to make a separate video and release that, answering all of the questions that people have been having about that. But please get in before it's too late. It ends this weekend, obviously, at the Super Bowl, and we will not be doing like the fees refunded and stuff like that again anytime soon. So if you haven't got in, please get in now and enter to win those 3 free pro accounts. Okay, guys, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, let us know.